The NBA's regular season is coming to a close, and there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk about it here on Hoop Talks. What's up, guys? It's your boy Jelani Goodridge-Reid here with Noor Zainab, Justin Pooni, and who's beside me? Oh, that is Crina Mustafa. That is Miss WNBA. This is Miss WNBA, Miss NBA, Miss whatever. Okay, tennis, everything. Okay, everything. That is Crina Mustafa. What's up, Cree?
I love the intros today.
Yes,
has been fun.
You're feeling good. You're on Hoop Talks. Okay,
They never treat me like this, by the way.
We're gonna make you feel comfortable today. So yeah, guys, the NBA season has been great. This regular season, a lot of storylines, a lot of discussion. So let's dive into it. Okay, let's start though with disappointments. Okay, because there's always a fraud out there. You guys know me in Fraud Watch, right? But I want to know your Fraud Watch. So what is one team? Who's a team that you're looking at and saying to yourself, man, what happened there? I'll start with Crina since Cree is joining us today. Cree?
That's great. You start with the person who has no preparation for
That's okay. I know you're born ready. I know you're born ready.
I have an answer. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Okay.
Because I think that there was a lot of hype around them for the start of the season. Obviously, like Zion being injured has been really like a bummer, I'm going to describe it in a way. And they are going to probably make the play-in, but I think that I maybe had them a little bit higher just with like all the parity that we have in the West right now. Like you have, I know you're going to touch on it, but the Sacramento Kings at like third in the West right now, which is absolutely like awesome. But I think like, Brandon Ingram has been really good for the Pelicans lately. So hopefully he can maybe will them to make some trouble in the play-in. But I think overall in this season, it maybe hasn't gone the way that I would have expected.
I think to push back on that a little bit.
Oh no!
Come on.
It's fine. You're allowed to push back. Yeah, no. We agree too much on the
biggest thing why I'm not putting the Pelicans in the biggest disappointment factor is because of injuries, like you mentioned, right? Zion's played 29 games. Brandon Ingram's played 42 games, right? That's a huge chunk of time both those guys have missed. They were a top 4 team in the Western Conference before Zion got hurt, right?
Well, I'm not blaming them. It's more of like I'm disappointed I'm disappointed that it ended up being like that for them because I think that team could have been like really good.
They were top 3 in the West and top 4 in the West.
It's not really a blaming thing because you can't predict injuries.
My disappointment really pains me to do this, but there's a caveat because the season's not over yet. There's still 5 days left in the regular season. It's Dallas Mavericks right now.
Hold on. I thought you believed in them like 2 days ago.
Crina,
can you let me? Wait.
Sorry,
hold on.
I watched you say you believe in the Dallas Mavericks.
Again, you didn't let me finish my statement. It's my turn right now. It's my statement right now. This has a caveat to change. If the Dallas Mavericks don't make the play-in, which I still think they will,
they're not.
Then it's a disappointment. That's my biggest disappointment if they don't make, because they were a top 4 seed in the Western Conference when they acquired Kyrie Irving, and now they're not even in the play-in. Right? That is a major league disappointment. But I still do believe they will make the play-in. I think Crina's New Orleans Pelicans will drop out of the play-in, and the Mavericks will get in. But if they don't, that's the biggest disappointment. But the one right now also is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Why would you have?
So
you
two
were only
teams.
allowed
wow.
Oh, my thunder right there, man.
So Noor, tell us why. Tell us why.
Take the baton from here. Thank you so much.
Tell us why.
Before he took my thunder and my answer, I was gonna be like, nobody mentioned the Timberwolves. Let me come here hot. But no, he couldn't take the spotlight.
Great minds think alike.
No. Anyway, this is actually insulting, if anything. But for me, it's Timberwolves because they had such a great season last year, and then they had their off season. They brought in a guy like Rudy Gobert, and not just brought him in, but they gave up a lot to get him. It was one of the biggest fleeces in NBA history, just based off of what Utah Jazz could get out of that, but also what the Timberwolves couldn't do with getting Rudy Gobert on the squad. You had Kat, you had D'Angelo Russell, you had Anthony Edwards, and you had Rudy Gobert, the back-to-back defensive player of the year, and now you're barely making it above 9th seed. And they got to a point where they had to make a trade with the Lakers at the trade deadline too, because things just weren't working out for them. So that, I think, is a BS mode of how things have gone for the Wolves.
To be fair, Kat was also hit with injuries.
Yeah, but it's like you got Rudy Gobert, you got Kat, you got D'Angelo Russell. No, they're doing well.
One team per person.
Yeah, he's naming off all the West. I would probably look at. I like the Pelicans take. I do, and yes, injuries have really shattered what could have been like a top 3 seed for them. But I think the Pelicans, especially if they miss the play-in, we'll see. I do expect them to make noise with health moving forward with Zion. But let's move to, some positives, okay? Let's look at teams that might have surprised you this year. We're going to start over there with Noor. Noor, tell us.
I won't take your thunder.
Oh,
because
go
I'm
ahead,
not
take
gonna
it.
do that. But I honestly will say, I think for me it would have to be the Cavaliers. What they did with bringing in Donovan Mitchell, having the backcourt they already have with Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and having a team put together where you no longer feel like something's missing. Like all they were missing was Donovan Mitchell, and having him brought in to be part of a young team, being the guy that obviously kind of lacks defense back in the day, but they now paired him with a squad that has the defensive abilities to kind of take care of whatever he lacks in that end. And now look at him. He doesn't have to play defense, and he's having the best offensive year of his career. So for me, it's the Cavaliers.
28 points a game. But I'm going to go with light the damn beam.
Light
The
it.
Sacramento Kings in a division where they have the defending NBA champion, the Golden State Warriors. Everybody's favorite team in the preseason, the Los Angeles Clippers, who think they're finally going to break through. The only thing they're breaking through is breaking ground on that new stadium. It's got the most toilets
That's
in
right.
NBA history. They got LeBron James and the LA Lakers in their division. But it was the Sacramento
No
Kings.
love for the Suns?
Oh, yeah, the Suns, too. They're in that division. Oh, they're in that division, too.
Bro, come on, man.
Listen, we know what divisions are
He
as...
had to mention LeBron.
The divisions in the NBA are just
Yeah,
as
it's different
relevant
than
as
the NFL,
referees in
but
the
yeah.
WWE.
I
They're
know,
completely
yeah, I
irrelevant, right? But look, in
Gotta
that
know ball,
division,
though.
the Sacramento Kings have the best record. They are the Pacific Division champions. De'Aaron Fox, All-Star. Demontis Sabonis, All-Star. Mike Brown will be the NBA Coach of the Year.
Yep.
This team is exciting. They play fast basketball. They have a rabid fan base. I cannot wait for Game 1 of the first round series, where it is the Lakers taking on the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento,
Okay.
where this LeBron will beat them in the first round, but that's just LeBron. But the Sacramento Kings' best story in the NBA.
Okay. I see it. I see the vision. Light the beam. Cree.
I'll move back to the East and I'll say the New York Knicks. I think
I like
with
that.
the arrival of Jalen Brunson and the way he's performed for them, and I think they are fifth in the East right now. I think they've had a really impressive season considering where they've been. They did make the Eastern Conference Finals that one year against the Hawks, and then it kind of felt like they fell off, and it was like, what was their direction? There was all this like Julius Randle slander, and then they were able to bring in a guy like Jalen Brunson. You have Emmanuel quickly also performing really well. I think this season has been a success for them so far, and I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs.
I could really see that. I like what the Knicks did. I think Brunson was arguably the best signing in the offseason. For
Luka
sure.
misses him.
He does.
Yeah.
I was
A lot.
down
He
here in
said it.
tears.
He misses
when
him.
asked to go.
Yeah, he misses him a lot. But now let's just touch real quick before we end off. Okay, we don't talk about the poor teams in this league at all. Okay, we don't give them any time of day here on Hoop Talks. Let's do it this time. Okay, let's look at Victor. Okay, Victor Wembanyama, obviously he is going to be a game changer when he gets in this league. So I want to know from you guys, what team would you want to see him end up with? Okay, we're going to start with Justin.
With me? Oh, thank you. Honestly, I need him in Charlotte. Him and LaMelo, that combo. Now, I will say this, though. It's an interesting thing about Victor Wembanyama that is coming. It came across my mind, right? Which 7'5" guy, those big guys, other than Shaq, have really stayed healthy throughout their whole career, right? I'm very concerned that, with it, because he's going to be playing on the perimeter in a league where, people are going to try to put bodies on him and stuff like that. I'm worried about that. But barring any injury, I want to see him and LaMelo and Charlotte. I think that'll be a dynamic.
But to that
duo.
point, I think that's why I would like him with the Spurs, because I want him to
Damn,
be
you
part of a
took my
good
answer.
development. The second you said that, I was like, that's a clear-cut way for me to come right in. But if you want him to stay healthy and be part of a good system, the Spurs.
Yeah, I was
What
gonna
about
say.
what happened
I
to
need
Kawhi and his injury history with the Spurs, though?
I need Wemby to be.
I don't want to talk about that.
Wemby needs to be the new face of the San Antonio Spurs,
And something for Pop's next
Yeah.
project. I think he needs that.
I'm in agreement with that. I think the Spurs, it just works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they had David Robinson, Tim Duncan,
Kawhi
Victor.
Leonard.
I'm looking at the bigs though. I'm looking at the bigs. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the bigs.
Okay, but if Detroit gets the first pick, they have James Wiseman. Do they get Wembanyama too?
Yeah, why not? Because he could play. You could put him. Anywhere.
If I'm the Pistons, I might trade down, acquire some more first-round picks. Maybe get Scoot or maybe Brandon Miller and get some more first-round picks.
I don't
and
think they
build
would
my
do
roster.
that. I don't
Okay.
think especially if you get the one.
If you can get Wemby,
If
that's
you get the
what
one, I don't
I got
think
my
so.
NFL GM cap on right now.
Well, this is
I
the
think
NBA.
It's
This is
not
the
working,
NBA.
yeah.
But thank you guys for joining me today. It was great talks today. Some healthy conversation. We will see you guys next time here on Hoop Talks.